Good afternoon, folks. Today I'm going to talk about telemarketing in the 21st century. Now, I'm not talking about $10, $12, or $15 an hour telemarketers who work for an office and need a salary or an income. I'm talking about big ticket closers who are older and don't go out in the field anymore and who want to get leads for whatever it may be. Some sort of big ticket item. I'm going to focus today on home improvements. First of all, you have to accept the fact that you have to call homeowners on the do not call list. If you're dealing with business owners, you don't have to worry. But then you got to be slick enough and suave enough to get past the gatekeeper, which I'm very adroit at. In fact, I have a deal that I got with Summer Oreskovich on this Facebook that should be funding. Well, we're making $1 million a piece, and I'm not bullshitting. They'll take out taxes, and they'll take out a lot. But this loan should fund within 30 to 60 days. This is, wow. I'm talking about calling homeowners. Now, what I do is I have my own system. What I do is I put on a sport jacket like I have on now after I work out in the morning, and I go to a list of qualified homeowners who have owned their house for at least 30 years. I want established people. I don't care if they're on the do not call list. Doesn't matter to me. They're not going to be upset. Not with the way I charm them. And I always look into the screen, the computer screen. The bigger the screen, the better. I always make sure I have a smile on my face, because smiling affects the vocal cords and makes you sound positive. Now, you're going to get a lot of people, depending upon what you're saying, that are going to say they're not interested. You're calling the do not call list. They're not complaining if you're charming and you're nice and you're affable and congenial. When they say they're not interested, you're going to tell them, great, have a great day. You're going to be nice. If they say they just had work done, you congratulate them. Hey, that's great. I hope you enjoyed. If you ever need us, you have my number. It's on your caller ID. Because I don't block my number. I'm not afraid of any government do not call list. Fuck them. Oh, yeah. I'll use profanity when I'm dealing with the profane. My pitch, and I call a very highly qualified list of homeowners. I already know what their credit is. Homeowners who own their home for 30 years. And I call, although I live in Florida, I call another state. I'm not going to tell you what that state is, but I have a business associate in that state who has a home improvement company, and I know for since 1976, almost 40 years. I've been in business with him. He's worked for me, and I've worked for him. And his talents are impeccable. He's as good as me. Maybe even better, because he has the patience to write more deals. He always did, but I always outwrote him in the volume because I was a heavy hitter. I know by getting him in the door, he's going to close. He has a licensed company. He's been in business for many years. He's a member of the Better Business Bureau, which means shit, but the people, the moochers out there, those who want something for nothing and believe what they're told, think the Better Business Bureau means something. It means nothing. Folks, I'll tell you something. I was an arbitrator for the Better Business Bureau in the 1970s. And of course, a member. I had a company, a termite and waterproofing company. And I'll never forget the time where I was brought in to handle a case. And when you're an arbitrator, you're the judge and the jury. I was brought in a case in Holbrook, Long Island, and I'll never forget the look on the guy's face when he saw me, because he had thrown me out of his house. Not physically, of course. He asked me to leave 4 years before for really pressuring him. And the case was against a pool contractor. He said his pool was discolored. He immediately said, hey, I know you. And the guy from the Better Business Bureau says, don't say a word. Mr. Pappalardo is judge and jury in here. He'll make the decisions and hear what you have to say. I heard the contractor. I heard the customer, and I said I'd make a reserve decision, which I did. 30 days later, I ruled in favor of the contractor. You better believe it, because the guy was a creep. And there was nothing wrong with the pool that the contractor had installed. But back to telemarketing. I have all those, I have the ammunition. I have the name, the address, the length of time they've been in the house, and whether they have, we rated A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, and C credit. So I only call the ones that have B credit because we have financing, which is very hard to get. We have home improvement, credit card financing, which if the credit is good, they don't have to make a payment for 18 months. And when they do, the interest is so low, it's almost nothing. What I say is this: how you doing, Mr. Jones? Good morning. My name is RJ. Sometimes I say my name is Russ Papalardo, if it's an Italian name. From blank, 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 home maintenance and repairs in blank, blank, blank. I'm calling you today because we're in the neighborhood again giving free estimates on any type of work that you might be considering, no matter how small it may be. We even do painting and spackling and all sorts of outside concrete work. Our motto is no job is too small, and of course, no job is too big. We do it all. Is there anything, and sir, we've been in business since 1979. Is there anything that you would consider getting a free estimate on while we're in the neighborhood? I wait for an answer. I shut up. He says, no, he's not interested. I say, thank you. Have a great day. He says, I just had work done. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. If you ever need us, you got my number. It's on the caller ID. If he says yes, I ask him, and what kind of work is it? Usually they'll say, do you do this? I said, of course we do, because we do everything. What I'll do is set the appointment. I'll tell him my brother-in-law, who's the owner of the company, is going to be in the area on a specific day, and I'll get him in the house. He'll close the deal. If he does, which he usually does, 60 to 70% of the time, and then sends me a lot of money. It's like a limited partnership. He takes off the cost of the job and then pays me 30% of the profit. That's what I do. That's how you telemarket. But if you don't call the do not call list, you're going to starve. Because just about everybody, because the masses are asses, went on the do not call list, unbeknownst to them, and they might have been laid off because of it. Because their company, unbeknownst to them, and I accentuate that, had a telemarketing division that reaped much money. Without the telemarketing division, because of the do not call list, they couldn't sustain their income. They had to let go of people. And most people, well, I wouldn't say most, I would say 50% of people on the do not call list who have been laid off by a company that went out of business or slowed down their operations is because they went on the do not call list. Like I always say, you reap what you sow. You have to accept responsibility for all the manifestations in your life. If you don't, you're a fool. Blaming someone else, blaming the government for making the list. Hey, the government's always going to do things that are bad and tell you it's for your own good. You can't listen to them. You have to disobey. You disobey covertly, clandestinely, secretly. That's how they do it. That's how they get away with what the shenanigans that they pull on you. Now, what I do before I work out, before I cold call, and I'll cold call for a couple hours a day. I'll usually get a lead or two. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, I got 6 sales. 6 sales, 3 of which were done and I was paid on. And I made over $2,100 on those sales. And that's green, folks. Green American dollars. I know they're Federal Reserve notes. I know they are promissory notes, but they are a modium of exchange as of now. And until they're not, I'll continue to reap in the cash. Folks, but before I get on the phone, I always work out. Today was Thursday, so I did shoulders. What I did is I walked for About 15 minutes, that's all. And I wouldn't even call it a walk. It was like a crawl, like a tortoise. I walked at about 1 mile an hour, if that. Did my meditations, my affirmations. I gave thanks to my Creator, my Heavenly Father and Mother, Jesus, and my higher self, who are really all one. And then I picked up 2 1.5-pound dumbbells because I was walking around my living room, dining room, and kitchen. It's large and I could walk around. And threw nonstop punching combinations with the 1.5-pound dumbbells for 15 minutes. Dropped down to the floor, no rest, did 250 strict, 1 set of knuckle push-ups. 250 knuckle push-ups. I'm a push-up king. Always have been. I have a plaque for it, as well as a plaque for sit-ups, which I don't do anymore. I do other kinds of abdominal exercises. I then did very little stretching, and I walked inside and picked up 2 35-pound dumbbells, 70 pounds, and did 3 sets of 30 reps. What I then did, lightweight, heavy reps. Definition, I was going to build mass later on. I then took 2 25-pound dumbbells and did erect rows. Pulling up here, 3 sets of 20 reps. That's for the front shoulder. I got the whole shoulder with the dumbbell presses. Now I just did the front shoulder. Now I want to do the rear shoulder, so I do bent over flies with 20-pound dumbbells. 3 sets of 30s, bent over for the rear deltoids. Then I wanted to get the side deltoids for that West Point looks. The wide shoulder, the narrow waist, the tapered built, the well-defined built. So what I did was take 2 20-pound dumbbells and did 3 sets of lateral raises, which build the side deltoid and do give you the West Point look. Then I had breakfast. What did I have? Chicken chili, 6 ounces of organic chicken, red kidney beans. They weren't organic, but I washed them completely to get that preservative juice off them. They were Goyas. I like Goyas. I like the taste. I added chili pepper, garlic, a little blackening seasoning, and Redmond's sea salt, which is the best you can buy. I ate that without digesting. I went right back to the weights. I wanted to build some mass. As I said, told you I would tell you what I did. I took 1 50-pound dumbbell. Started out with my right hand and did 1 set of 15 reps. Pretty strict. Couldn't do more because I've had damages to this shoulder many years ago. In 98, in fact, what was that, 17 years ago, I had a rotator cuff surgery. Is it healed? Absolutely. But it's never the same. Once you let those animals, those doctors, those human devils into your body, they broke a bond. It's never the same. I then took the other hand, the left hand, and did 20 reps easy. I then dropped down to 45-pound dumbbells, which I take a 35-pound dumbbell and 2 10-pound wrist weights, and did 1 set of 30 reps. I then took off the 10-pound wrist weights after a 30-40 second rest. And what I then did is 1 set with 5 pounds and the 35s, which is 40 in each hand, 1 set of 40 reps. Then I was done. Now I finished working for the day. What I'm going to do this afternoon is 3 sets of 20 reps each. The axe kick to the head, the hook kick to the ribs, and the side kick to the ribs. And the back kick to the thigh or the knee. I do that low. And I'm done. And I feel good. Why? Because I did the thing I ought to do at the time I ought to do it. I did not procrastinate. I suggest you do the same. And remember what I said about the do not call list if you're in business or you're a closer. Telemarketers who work in offices, they're nothing. I've trained at least 1,500 of them. I've ran 20 phone rooms and trained probably 500 over the years of one-call closers. I know the machinations of a one-call close very well. It's the warm-up. The better the warm-up, the easier the close. The harder the warm-up, the harder the close. You sell yourself and you sell your company. The presentation, the inspection, the finding a problem, getting a commitment that they want to take care of it, sitting down, giving them the solution, giving a price, shutting up, and starting to write the contract. First man who talks loses. Those are the machinations of the one call close. I don't care if you're selling a $50,000 item, a $100,000 item, or a $5,000 item. If you're selling anything less than $1,000, you're Little League. Don't pay any attention to what I'm saying. It won't apply to you. You won't grasp the meaning anyway. That's why I laugh when anyone tries to sell me something, or any woman or salesperson tries to give me, no matter how suave and good they speak. I see it coming. I've been around the block dozens upon dozens of times. Nobody fools the Phoenix. That's all, folks.